Hi, my name's Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and professional filmmaker. Today I'm going to tell you how to choose the best travel tripod to travel to Europe. I'm going to compare 9 different camera holders and tripods for you. How do you choose the best travel tripod when you're traveling to Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, or anywhere else in the world? Well, unfortunately that depends. In this video I'm going to compare 9 different tripod setups and give you the pros and cons, the options, and how I use them. So let's get started right away. Number 1 tripod is this little Ultrapod. Eddie Bauer used to make it, but this little tripod deal here is super slick because it has fold-out legs. It can hold a small SLR, but it will hold my RX 100 no problem. The socket's almost worn out, but it does pretty well. The nice thing about this tripod is it does have a strap, so if you find a pole or something, you could wrap the strap around and generate a much more substantial tripod just with this on here. The downside, of course, is this head is really pretty weak. So it holds an RX 100 or very small mirrorless just fine, but an SLR would be pretty sketchy. I always carry this as the ultimate backup, plus I can set it on a surface and tilt the head around. So this little pod does pretty well. By the way, I'll put links below to everything that I'm reviewing, in this video. The second type of tripod are these ultra flat jobs that have no tilt, no much like tiny ability, but they're super small and they work on flat tabletop surfaces. There's really nothing to go wrong compared to the Ultrapod. The Ultrapod, it can kind of flop over. You got to be a little bit careful with that. The nice thing about these pods, the flat mini pods, is they're almost idiot-proof and invincible, but there's zero capability to tilt your camera, move it up and down, or anything. But boy, it is super capable and ultra small. The next type of tripod is not really a tripod at all. Now, before you click away, yes, this is a selfie stick. I'll put a link below to the selfie stick. Honestly, I just bought this thing at a truck stop. I mean, it was like $8 and it's starting to kind of spin around and get loose. But I've used this thing for 3+ years. The nice thing about it is it can hold my smartphone, but also I can unscrew this and put my RX 100 on here. Whoops, fell down. And it actually does an okay job. Again, like I said, the head's wearing out, but as far as a selfie stick to use either my smartphone or my RX 100, a selfie stick actually works quite well. Now, it does have the 1/4 threads in the bottom, so I could hook it up with my, sorry, fell down here, with my little tabletop tripod. And now I can get a true tripod, not just a monopod. And now I can actually do something with this thing. So this might be a good combo option for you, is the selfie stick, so if you need to get the camera away, but creating a tripod out of it, there is definitely the option. There are some selfie sticks with built-in tripods. Just be aware, this is really tall and really flimsy. Be careful with your $1,000 camera, setting it and then walking away, because boy, this thing falls over and smashes. You are going to be crying. So a selfie stick is definitely an option. Let me give you a weight comparison of everything here. The Ultrapod weighs, how much does this thing weigh? It weighs 1.7 ounces. The Ultrapod weighs 1.7 ounces. Or for my grams friends, that's 48 grams. That is ultra light. The trying to hold everything in my lap here. Sorry. The little nothing pod weighs 1.8 ounces. So this is even lighter. It is 52 grams, so that is definitely an ultra light travel option, not as capable as the Ultrapod. But when you go to the Selfie Stick, it is heavier. It is, let's see, a whopping 5 ounces. Selfie Stick with the phone holder, that's 5 ounces or 142 grams. More capable, but you know, kind of dorky looking. But the huge advantage of the Selfie Stick is if you're holding this out and blah-blahing and you're actually doing professional films or whatever, nobody cares. In fact, they kind of look like, oh, who's that dork using a Selfie Stick? I can film and do stuff and no one will care about me compared to if I show up with my huge video tripod. The Selfie Stick has an advantage of supreme stealthiness, as does these two. No one cares about these things. I can hold my camera like this. It's really quite nice to have. The next option are the Joby GorillaPods. I own 2 of them. I own 2 GorillaPods, and this is the 5K pod. I have the 3K pod, though you might be tempted to save a little bit of money and it's lighter. The big problem with the 3K pod is that you have to have a coin or a tool to put your camera on and off. You know, I'll use in a pinch or as a second item. I do like the level on here, but I highly recommend the 5K pod. This can hold SLRs, this can hold camcorders. I mean, this is a very capable camera or camera holder. It has the pan tilt head, the quick release plate that has a lock. It has a rotate head on here. There's a new version that has accessory arms that come out. There's also a new version with a pan tilt fluid head for video. I'll put links below. This is currently my favorite travel tripod because it is so versatile. It can go into tabletop mode. I can use it and hold it out and blab, or hold it steadier and blab and do stuff. I have wrapped this around poles, around bridges. I mean, this thing is ultra versatile. It gets the camera away from me enough. And again, almost nobody takes this seriously. They look at it and they're like, yeah, that looks weird. But it doesn't look like an intimidating tripod that would bother people. This is heavier. This is substantially heavier. The Joby Gorilla 5K pod, just by itself with the head, is 1 pound, 10 ounces, or 742 grams. So it's a lot more weight, but this is still my current run around and use tripod. Of course, it's not very tall. I mean, it's only whatever that is, 1, 2, 3, you know, like maybe 1.25 feet or about 45 centimeters. Plus, once you spread the legs, it's much lower. But I've filmed with this in India, in England, in France, in Ireland, all over the place. This is still my favorite deal. Now, the next step up is a real tripod. The first real tripod option I use is my Slick Pod. I have another link below to a video review. Now, this is actually a real video tripod because it has the pan and the tilt head. I use this as my primary travel tripod right now when I need to use my camcorder or my RX100, and I can get beautiful motions. Now, obviously, it's nowhere near as good as my huge video tripod, but if I show up on my big video tripod in a city, it gets too much attention. This almost gets too much attention, but it's so cheap looking that people just disregard me. Obviously, you can't use this in churches and cathedrals and places that restrict it, but this slick video tripod is truly, truly slick. Now, the next tripod, and by the way, if this is too big, you can actually, and this is why I call this a travel tripod, I can unlock this, take the head out, and now this will fit in any checked small carry-on luggage you might find. This actually fits without any problems in my Eddie Bauer backpack that I walk around with, or my slightly bigger JanSport backpack. And that's a definition of my travel tripod. It has to fit in one of those two backpacks. I carried this thing around in London for a week and a half in this little backpack without any problem. The next option to step up to are carbon fiber tripods or aluminum, really fancy tripods that are more advanced than the slick tripod, and you know, it's pretty nice. I've got a Benro tripod here. Now this tripod is too long for checked luggage. Ah, crud. Or even carry-on luggage. This thing is huge. But the trick is this Benro tripod. Check this out. The legs flip over, right? And then you loosen the neck, and then you ride it all the way up. And by doing this and then flipping this head down, this is now travel compatible, and it is roughly equal, in fact, no, it's not equal. It's shorter than my slick tripod. So this one is pretty handy. Now, the Benro, the problem is that the twist locks take a long time compared to the snap locks of my slick pod. That's why I don't use this guy much anymore. But if you like this style, you prefer the carbon fiber, you need the beefier tripod that can take a beating, this Benro tripod is slick. You also have to buy the head and the mount to it as well, so that is a thing to consider. The last tripod that I'll talk about is my Zhun, or I don't know how to pronounce it, gimbal head. This thing is much more substantial, much more highly technical, but it has the little screw-on deal where I can convert this into a little stand-up tripod, and there you go. I used this filming in London for 2.5 weeks, or 2 weeks, whatever it was, 2 weeks. Definitely love it, but it is not a great, hey, just lock it there tripod, because it requires a lot of setup. But once you've got it set up, the capability to walk around and do all the gimbal head stuff is pretty slick. I'm still calling this my specialty item. It definitely has allowed me to make greater videos, but as just a quick setup and shoot tripod, so some good, some bad. I hope this video has been helpful to you to show you the different tripods and everything. And oh, I'm sorry. Forgot to weigh the Benro tripod. Jeez, I'm failing my video job here. All right. Yeah, the Benro tripod is 2 pounds, 11 ounces, or 1.2 kilograms. So this is a beefcake. This can take a beating compared to my slick tripod. But, you know, this one still, I like it because it's got the video head. The Zhun gimbal head with the tripod base. This thing weighs 1.2 pounds or 530 grams. And again, this is very versatile as well. And in fact, when I was traveling filming in London, I had my Zhun gimbal head, I had my Joby GorillaPod, and I had my slick tripod all in my 20-liter tiny little backpack, plus camcorder, plus snacks, plus water. It was pretty heavy, but it totally worked. These are all highly travel compatible, and that's the kit that I wandered around with to film my World Beyond London shows. Check the link below. So, I hope you found this video helpful of all the different tripod options for travel to Europe, and lots of things to consider. This is still my workhorse. This is the #1 because it doesn't get in the way. This one's best for video, but it's a full tripod. My name is Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and professional filmmaker. Please like and comment on the video, and if you found it helpful, subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and enjoy your filmmaking.